What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be teaching and talking about how you can become a digital nomad, and really about what it means to be a digital nomad. Can everyone do it? These sorts of things. So yeah, I appreciate this is a bit of a short video, but it's really just an introduction to the idea of being a digital nomad and being able to make money and earn income while also traveling at the same time. Because usually and traditionally, those things have been sort of separate, right? Most of the sort of old thinking was, you work 9 to 5 in an office, and then if you're lucky, if you work hard and save your money, then maybe you can go on a holiday once or twice a year for a couple of weeks at a time, not even that sometimes. And then it's back to the grind, back to work, right? So, and really that doesn't have to be the case anymore. This is 2018, this is the digital age, there's so much has changed in the last few years. Especially with things like the internet and technology and all these sorts of things, you don't have to do that anymore. At least you don't have to if you don't want to, right? So really, that's what I wanted to explain today. A digital nomad is somebody who works from anywhere in the world, from their laptop usually, but from anywhere, while at the same time traveling around and not being tied down to one particular location. So maybe you're in Thailand for 3 months and then you move on to China and then you move to Europe, whatever the case may be, wherever you really want to go. The point is you can choose where to go. And that's the important distinction between being, stuck in the traditional way of thinking where you're stuck to one job, one location, and the sort of new, more modern approach of working from anywhere. Now, when you do that, a few things happen. Firstly, you find you have more energy because you're not tied to one place. You don't get so familiar with your surroundings that they become boring. You're constantly exposed to new things, new people, ideas, places. So it becomes more exciting. It's more fun, and that's one of the main benefits and attractions I think of being a digital nomad is that you can do what you want and you can go you can go where you want. You don't have to be stuck in one place. So I'm pretty sure that, if you're watching this video, you want to be a digital nomad, or at least you're interested in the idea, but you're wondering, how can I actually start? How can I earn an income from anywhere and still travel around and, be on the move constantly? Well, it comes down to essentially two, maybe three things. Okay, but the two main things that it comes down to is how much it costs you to travel, number one, and how much you earn, number two. So say if you earn, I don't know, $20,000 a year, right? You can easily travel around the world on that salary, on that income, right? You just have to be clever about it. You can even travel around the world on less if you book things in advance, use some of the sites I'm going to share with you in a second, and sort of have some sort of plan as to how you're going to do this. You don't have to save up a huge chunk of money and then slowly work your way through it as you travel around. That's a myth. You can actually earn the money on the go and travel around that way. So I think the most important thing is that your income, how you earn money, needs to be location independent, meaning you don't have to be in a certain place to earn it. That's the first step. So you need to detach your income from a certain place. If you are a website designer, for example, you go into a company and work for the company in one place, try and move towards starting your own web design company and working from anywhere, or really maybe try and talk to your boss and arrange to stay working with the company you're working with, but do it from somewhere else. You don't need to be in the office to do the work. And that's the key thing with a lot of jobs these days is you don't need to be like in one particular place in order to provide the service that you're offering and do what you're doing. So if you already have a job that's tied down to one place but could be separate, have a word with your boss in the first case. Just say, could we do this? Could we have an arrangement where I work from somewhere else? The chances are that if they're fairly reasonable, they'll be happy to do that because it lowers their overheads. They have to pay for one less seat, and it means that they have space to fill with other people. You can work for them still, but they can fill that desk or that space with someone more locally. So it's a win-win. So, first step, separate your income from where you are, from your location. The second thing is to and this is the ideal scenario for a digital nomad, is to create what's called passive income. Now, passive income is income that you earn regardless of whether you keep working on a certain thing. So it's just about being smart and not working harder all the time. An example would be, say, if you're a website designer, you could spend, say, 6 to 8 hours creating a website, and then you sell that website to one person, or your company sells it, and you get paid a set amount of time for the set amount of hours that you've done. Say if it's, I don't know what the price is for a website designer. Say if you earned $200-300 in a day, that's one time. When the day's finished, right, and when the website's been sold, and when you've been paid and your company's been paid, that income stops. That's a one-time fee. It's fixed, right? And it's also active because you had to actually work on it to get the money. When you stop being active, when you stop coding the website, that income stops. A smart way and a passive way of doing that would be to actually create the theme. Say if it's a WordPress theme, design the theme, and then sell that theme as a digital download on, say, theme marketplaces. And then every time someone buys that theme, you get a percentage of the sale price, of the commission. And, that way you work on it once, design it once, say if it takes you 10 hours, say if it takes you 30 hours. Once the work's done, and once you've designed that theme, you can sell it again and again and again forever and still get paid for having done the work in the first place. You still get the passive income again and again. And so that's really what I wanted to share with you guys, is try and move from working in a certain place to being able to work from anywhere, and then ultimately try and create leverage and try and create things that you can sell again without having to do the work again. So really that's the first step, and obviously the easiest way for doing that is to sell things like ebooks, digital courses, downloads, PDFs, that sort of thing, things that can be replicated and copied, unlimited amount of times, but that don't require you to do any more work in order to sell them and copy them. Because then really it's residual, isn't it? You don't have to work again. You don't have to, say if you write an ebook and you sell it the first time, if you sell it again, you don't have to write the ebook again. You just send them the ebook again, or the software or whatever systems you have set up will email them the ebook download. You don't even have to be there. In fact, you don't even have to be awake. So that's really one of the great things about passive income, and especially selling digital downloads, is that you don't have to be in a certain place. You don't really even have to be involved once you've written the ebook and set up a system that will promote and sell it for you and then deliver it once they pay, your customers, that is. So, look, I know this is all confusing. This might be a bit overwhelming even. But if you're trying to become a digital nomad, you need to understand that, well, logically, when you think about it, if you're going to be traveling around the world, you need money to come to you wherever you're going. So it needs to be location independent and ultimately passive, because that way you don't have to be spending all your time working. I mean, you don't want to travel halfway around the world to some hot country in Asia, for example, and then have to spend 10 hours a day working, because, if the weather's really hot and nice, you don't want to be stuck in your room, sweating and typing on your laptop all the time, because it's harder it's harder to do that than it is to just do it where you came from, if you come from a fairly average temperature or average climate country. So don't make it hard on yourself. You want to enjoy the sun and the beach, whatever. I mean, that's what the dream of digital nomads really is, to be able to enjoy things in the present, as opposed to just saving up for a retirement in the future, which might never come. That being said, obviously, it's not a free ride. You are going to have to do some work. And, although it is passive income, once you've set it up, you still need to do the work in the first place to create the thing. Say if it's an ebook, you'll need to do the work to create that ebook in order to sell it. It's not just going to appear out of nowhere. So that's really the key, is to just find something that can be sold again and again, ideally a digital product, and then set up a system which sells it for you. This can be done either through Kindle, or you can use sales software like ClickFunnels. You can use email marketing software that will automatically email people and build a relationship with them for you, and sell your product there. By the way, I'll put some links in the description to ClickFunnels, which is a great way of sort of selling digital products for you. It creates a system that means you don't need to be there for the sale. it can automatically happen. And then Aweber, which is an email marketing software which lets you sort of collect people's email addresses on, say, a website, and then automatically send them emails to promote products. So there'll be useful links for you there as well. So one last thing I wanted to mention is that's just my experience and my way of doing it, okay? You can very easily, and a lot of people do this, you can become a digital nomad with active income and by having a job. You can work remotely for a company, for your company, hopefully, or, another one. There are lots out there that provide remote working contracts, or you can freelance. And a lot of people spend their time freelancing on sites like Upwork, especially if you're a writer, designer, admin, sales, whatever the case may be. You can actually do freelance work on Upwork from anywhere and travel the world like that. You don't need a huge amount of money to become a digital nomad. It's a common misconception. You can travel the world quite cheaply. So depends on what you want to do. If you want to set up systems and have more time to enjoy where you're going to, I would suggest setting up passive income. If you don't really mind and you're happy you enjoy your work, for example, which hopefully you do, and you don't mind freelancing, then look at sites like Upwork, set up a profile, get some clients. It's really almost as easy as that. Obviously, you need to do the work and be good at your service, but really there's no barriers to this. You could work from anywhere, pretty much doing anything. So don't limit yourself. Go and do what you love doing. And if you need any tips on passive income, I've got a link in the description to a blog post that I wrote containing, I think it was over 30 in the end, 30 passive income sources or ideas. What I'd really advise is if you're a good freelancer, right? If you're good at your service, do both. Do freelance, have your clients so that there's regular income coming in, and then set up passive income as well. If you have some money to save on the side, if you've got extra money, disposable income, invest it into things. Get some sort of residual income coming into your account, your portfolio, whatever you want to call it, and then that way it's more secure. If you lose all your clients, you're fine because you have at least some passive income on the side. You ideally have some savings, that sort of thing. So hopefully this has been sort of useful. I mean, I know it's my first video on becoming a digital nomad, and it's also the first sort of real video I've made for this channel in a while. So if you are new here, please subscribe to Transcend Your Limits. It's my personal development and travel blog, which again, there should be a link in the description. And that's really it. I'll see you next time.